Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. Girls, Season 5, Episode 5, Queen for 2 days. Ben, Michelle, Alonso. Yes, I went to Oberlin and I'm not a monster. No, I didn't. But Hannah did, and that was awkward on multiple levels.
It was, but it was. I mean, it's always they're bold, they're creative.
They are. Doesn't it kind of feel like a storyline from the first season, though? Like, I was a little surprised that they went the lesbian random affair.
Well, that it took this long to get here?
Yeah, that seems like the thing you do right when you get out of college. And your experience, and then this, I love that she wasn't committed. I love that she's too lazy to be a good lesbian. I did find that is very Hannah.
She can't give her
Love
30
that.
more seconds.
No, seriously, yeah, it was just too much. And then she just, it was like, yeah, that was definitely.
Give me 30 more seconds. No, that's it.
Nope,
We're done.
really done.
Yeah.
Sauna, can't do
I'm in a
it.
sauna. Yeah. I don't know. Yes, I see what you're saying, except that they create. Oh, I think Hannah would only do this, other than at Oberlin, in this particular environment. And once she'd crossed over, this woman who appeared to understand her completely, get what was wrong with that crazy place, and sort of really totally focused on her, so it happened sort of organically,
Yeah.
And so only in this scenario would that have happened. And of course, Hannah's, as she went back to her mom and cutely put her head on her mother's lap, they have a really interesting relationship, the mother and daughter. But she was like, I listened to, I don't know what part of me, she said, and that the part always makes bad decisions.
Yeah.
Well, and I love the conversation they have about the mother fretting that somehow something that she did wrong in her relationship has now damaged Hannah's ability to have a relationship, and then Hannah eventually kind of thinking, oh, maybe you're right.
Right, maybe.
Although I did think it was super interesting, because I feel like normally it's the kid blaming the parent. It's interesting that the parent said it and the kid was like, no.
Well, I think a lot of times, I bet it's not uncommon for divorcing parents to then feel like, oh, not only did I screw up my own marriage, but I've now passed on to my children like bad ideas of what intimacy should be like, or blah blah blah.
Look, obviously, good parents can screw kids up, because the decisions you make to children at 5 and 6 and 7 or so turns out, completely profound for the
No
children.
pressure.
Right.
Yeah.
But that said, look, Hannah has a strong relationship with both parents who are not insane people.
Right.
Like she obviously,
They love her.
she came out ahead in the parent game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just was surprised that she was mature enough
Right.
to be like, no.
Right.
Like she kind of internalizes her
And then
issues.
even
I
her
thought that was
recognition
cool.
at the end, maybe you guys did mess me up a little bit. It's
Yeah.
not hostile. It's not blaming. It's like,
like,
oh, maybe you did give me some stuff that maybe I gotta
Work through.
I
it, yeah.
gotta work through.
Yeah.
Especially with parents who were honest, like, yeah, we probably did do that, even if we didn't mean to. I think about it all the time as a parent, and I just don't think there's no way my parents were thinking about how we might be screwing their kid up psychologically. It just wasn't a thing. And now I constantly think about it. When I tell my daughter to say I love you to my mom, who has Alzheimer's, and it makes her feel great, I still instantly think, I probably shouldn't be telling her to say I love you if she doesn't want to say I love you. So I always go afterwards. That makes grandma feel great, but I don't mean to pressure you. And if you don't want to do it, that's totally cool too. And she looks at me like she's like, I'm too.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Don't give me this wishy-washy crap. I respond well to
like,
orders.
I love that you're thinking about it, though.
You gonna
That's
give me that
sweet.
peanut butter and jelly, or are we just gonna keep yammering?
So now, interesting interesting argument with the boyfriend, in that it was the first one where I thought maybe she's not entirely in the wrong on this one, because in the previous ones, Jake Lacey's character seems to be stable and normal, and the stuff that when he's in an argument with Hannah, her stuff I find usually to be like ridiculous.
Yeah.
But this was sort of like, okay, within the context of how she did this assignment, maybe you are overreacting.
Oh, you mean you're talking about the week before, but it's.
Oh, sorry, I watched them
it
back to
doesn't
back.
matter. It's worth
so-
No,
talking about.
I got Hannah's
So
point
the,
of view, totally.
But that
respect that.
conversation about the grading of the papers, no, he was wrong.
Yeah.
He's
And
wrong.
also just the fact that he can't let it go.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
Like-
not his job.
Right, it's not his job, or he has to be like, oh my God, this is so hard for me to do. I want to correct everything. I can't read these. And then she'd be like, yeah, well then don't. And,
Well,
yeah.
that's why. The reason that came to mind was I love the line the woman says, "But fuck nice. Nice is what hostile
Right.
people use to cover up their like."
being an asshole.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, that applies to some nice people I've known. Certainly.
No, that was great. And that's the thing, they do such nice things with that character, because that character was so wildly appealing, and then became significantly less appealing in the sauna scene, although
Right.
not totally unappealing.
No,
but
right. Well, it's kind of like with the Corey Stoll character. You know, I'm like, wow, he's great. What's wrong with him?
right, yeah.
He's on this show. Something's wrong with him. You know?
Wasn't that to go back a week again because you're here?
Yeah, sorry.
And so what was looking?
Yes.
That sex scene in
Yes.
was more graphic than anything Looking gave us, and Looking promised it, didn't they?
I don't know if it was
Not quite.
more graphic than anything Looking did. Looking went out to some.
More-
It was
intense. It wasn't graphic.
It was more intense, and certainly I think there was definitely a specificity to it. Like the thing about this show is like the sex scenes either have a specificity that are either about people not communicating well or being too demanding or not demanding enough maybe in bed, or of people who are having a rapport in a way that we're not used to seeing. Like in this episode when Jessa and Adam are sort of doing that crazy high school role playing, you know,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
which is really funny.
Which
But
is so
but
creepy
you
to
remember
me.
when Adam and
So
Hannah
creepy.
tried role playing, it went to really weird, awkward
Right.
territory.
I think that's Adam.
But Jessa started this one.
Yeah,
She
I
did.
don't.
This was her thing. She
Yeah.
wanted this one.
That freaked me
I
out.
thought it was good because
I
they
know
were
I'm
both.
cool with them being happy.
yeah,
It's just the weird pregnancy thing. Like,
No, but
I
it-
really don't want that conversation anywhere near.
But you know what? Look,
Sex.
other people's kinks are hilarious, but you really can't, as long as they're not hurting anybody, you can't really judge them. So it's like if she was responding to that in that moment, and that's a scenario that gives her pleasure, like,
Yeah.
all right, knock yourself
No,
out.
I'm totally fine
I
with
wouldn't
it,
have
it
picked
just-
that one, but you know,
and a
whatever.
significant.
just the idea makes me super uncomfortable.
No, I
That's
get
it.
it.
Not
Oh, yeah,
them.
totally
I
get it.
like
the
them. They're
conversation
great.
itself was hideous to watch.
Yeah.
Like you had to avert your eyes, but
It was a
there was
lot.
a sweetness to it, particularly how it ended when she's like, "Oh my God, you were so wonderful. That was so good. You took it."
When he,
went through all the
'cause he
play."
drags Coach into it.
It was
you
like
know.
his acting. Yeah.
But just the
He yes-anded her.
right. That's right. But the mere fact of that all of a sudden it was good or intimately close sex after the
Awkward.
sort of disaster of the week before.
I assumed that was going to happen. I assumed that was first time sex.
Yeah, but it might have been
just
they're
assumed.
not meant for each
Maybe.
other. But it turns out
Maybe they are.
Is that
Probably.
ever how that works? If you have sex the first time and it's not great, that you're not meant for each other?
I don't know. I've never had anything but sex. That's what they tell me.
He's never slept with anyone but his wife. Thank you very much.
But anyway, it was. But just again for the second straight week, we got nothing but scenes of, unlike most television, clear scenes of real people being intimate together.
Right.
Like there is not a.
Very true.
They don't magic up this sex at all, and I imagine that that's what makes these actors more at ease doing it. I don't know. These things are not directed.
Well, I would say they're choreographed in a way so as not to look choreographed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Of course, they're choreographed. In fact, brilliantly, but in a way that
In a
feels,
naturalist kind of way. Yeah.
which is not how we're in any way used to seeing sex on screen.
No,
Ever.
not at all.
No, I mean
Yeah.
I love. I mean, I'm not even sure half the time what Lena Dunham is doing with her body.
Yeah, right,
Like
well-
when she's wearing that bathing suit in the middle of the hike that is so cut in a way that would be flattering to like 3 women on Earth.
Right.
Yep.
And it's like,
She
are you
does it.
are you taking the piss? Are you reclaiming something? I'm not even sure, but I'm glad
I feel
she's doing
like she's
it.
reclaiming something.
I think
to
it
me.
goes to, right because me and
That's
we're always
what I
like, really, wow.
That's the one you picked.
Right, that's the one you pick. And so, but obviously, like none of us are interested. We're all interested in a world where women who look like whatever are able to not feel uncomfortable with their body.
course.
Yeah,
And so,
it's
but
amazing.
so there's a degree of, oh yeah, that's what you want. Well then, fuck off. And so I think there's a lot of, as you said, a lot of it is taking a piss out of that. So, and she is, I get it. What is amazing to how we're programmed, at least at my age, my generation, is that I'm ready for it in every episode here. I am fully on board supporting it, and she shocks me every single week when she does it.
Because her body is in this sort of normal person place
Right.
that we don't get on TV. And I remember there's that 30 Rock where Jenna comes back from having done Mystic Pizza the musical all
Oh,
summer,
yeah. And she
she's
had to
put
eat
on
the pizza.
she was eating like 2 slices every episode or 8 slices every show, and Jack tells her you have to lose 30 pounds or gain 60. Nobody in between has any place on television.
That's the episode, or it leads to the sequence of episodes where she goes to see Chris Parnell, who plays the doctor.
Dr. Spachan.
Oh, Dr. Space. Dr.
and
Space.
she, and he says how she can lose the weight quickly. and it's a it's a brochure that says "Do the meth," and then he hands it to her, and he goes, "How do you feel about how important to you is tooth retention?" And she goes, "Pretty important." And he takes the thing back. Yeah.
And then it gets with the catchphrase, "Me want food."
That's right. Me want food, right?
What about Shoshana's?
Yeah, that was interesting too. So they haven't had
That's
sex.
really-
Shoshin Shosh or Shoshin Yosh.
Shoshin Yosh, yeah, and clearly she has not been forthcoming to him about her own sexual history.
Yeah.
That's right. We will lose our virginities together at my grandmother's house.
Yeah.
But
Fantastic.
what about her full? I mean, it was like she was all into this culture. Is that saying that like that wasn't real, or like I thought it was such an interesting turn to take it from here to here.
I think you can be fascinated with something and embrace it, and then be like, okay, that was fun. I gotta go home now.
Totally. I just thought she had kind of found. They were implying that she had kind of found.
Sure,
her
totally.
They
Yeah.
were, but
and
it
kind
seemed,
of
it's
threw
good,
it
but
right
it
out.
seemed disingenuous. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
So we're going to a cat shop and she loves it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, was
The
it? Was
cat
it,
looks
was,
just like my cat. by
Was
the way.
80 Bryant this week or last week?
This week?
Okay, yeah, I loved the 80 Bryant scenes.
It was really good. Everything was really good there, and then she was so gets it in every way. Although, why did she come see her in the first place? I thought that we never got an answer of why she was there.
Was she
she
just
felt bad
at
about
the cat-
she felt bad
Oh.
about firing her. She felt bad about having downsized her, and she clearly thought that the cat cafe was something naughty when it's just a cat
Just a
cafe.
cat
cat
cafe.
And so I guess she's going home to Scott. Yeah,
If Scott is there.
he'll be there. We saw they gave us the preview of him throwing the
Right, but I mean, he'll be
previously.
physically there. I don't know if he's there for her.
I think if you get fired and she takes an extra 2 weeks because she was confused. I think you
Yeah.
probably-
And
we'll
she
see.
didn't have sex with him.
No,
so
I'm not predicting anything. I'm just saying that anything could happen at this point.
Yeah.
the last hand.
And Desi is still an idiot.
and no
God.
and no Marnie. Do we
Yeah,
get no
it
Marnie
looks
in
like
this
next
episode?
episode's going to be a lot of Marnie. But
Yeah,
yeah, there wasn't.
'cause
any.
we gotta find
I've
out how
taken
that-
to not watching coming up next again. I'm back.
Yeah, I
good.
tuned it out. But
That's
yeah,
smart.
we got to find out how that wall comes out. you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Good stuff on girls. As always, Lena Dunham, very, 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 very creative. Just need me to tell her, but something going on with that girl. All right.